Glenn from ERE. Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I mean, I need to ask you first. Is it okay if I wear this on stage in a couple weeks? Like, can I go full unicorn?
I you would be the first, but if you want to do it, hey man, go for it. We're right next to Disneyland, and you can just go right from the conference.
Oh, that's a
And
whole other thing we were talking about off air
you know,
before. If I'm gonna make it there on Friday afternoon. Well, everyone out there, I want to introduce you to my buddy Michael Glenn over at ERE. Michael, why don't you tell everyone who you are and what you do best?
yeah. All right. So Michael Glenn, thanks for having me on the show. I do love the costume, and by the way, I love the costume, Daphne costume as well, because it reminds me of my daughter who was Daphne not too long ago for Halloween, and my son who was Little Einstein. I don't even know if that's around. But anyways, yeah, so I'm with ERE Recruiting Conference, and I'm also the editor for ERE. We're kind of a big deal. No, I'm just kidding, but we've been around for a while. We've been around for a couple of decades. We've been in this. We were one of the first really resources for a lot of talent acquisition professionals to get articles, get resources, and then eventually started conferences. And of course, you just we're talking to Jim Stroud earlier, so SourceCon is part of that whole ERE media. So we have a lot of conferences throughout the year, and so I just pretty much maintain the ERE brand and our conference and a lot of the content that goes out. But prior to that, I spent a long time being a recruiter.
In
So I
the
got a lot.
trenches. You're one of us. You're one of
Yeah,
us,
man.
Mike.
Boots on the ground, in the trenches, hiring people. I got a lot of stories to tell there if you ever want to talk about them.
Oh, we're gonna save that for Anaheim at the bar, the hotel bar. We're gonna save those.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, yeah, eventually moved into Flair brand recruitment marketing, and yeah, that's kind of my background. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So we maybe Michael, I know we're trying to do a video promo for ERE, so I think we could use this. If people don't mind a little unicorn in there, we could use some of this content and kill two birds with one stone. So let's
Hey,
talk about the ERE conference coming up in Anaheim. It's coming up in 2 weeks. It's going to be the 11th, right? The 12th through the 14th. We're going to be
yeah,
down in Anaheim, and everyone could check that out. We're going to link it up in the comments there. I'm going to be there, but we have a star-studded lineup, including Jim Stroud, Kevin Wheeler, the man himself, Hung Lee. We have Cheryl Peterson, Rachel Allen from 7-Eleven, David Crawford from New York Presbyterian. We have so many folks out there, incredible thought leaders, practitioners in the space. What is this conference all about, and who is it for?
well, this is going to be a lot different conference, I think, than we've ever had before. Now, what's it really all about? That's a good question because most people think of ERE, especially if you've been around for a long time, kind of think of it as more of a TA practitioner. It is really more for a TA practitioner, but a lot of TA leaders that kind of come together and share insights about what's working and what's not working. But really, what it's become and what's evolved now, it's about the entire TA community. It's about people like yourself, independents, agencies, corporate recruiters, people that provide services, software companies. So it's about everything. And that's what the ERE Recruiting Conference is about. It's about bringing everybody together in the community, kind of learning what's working and what isn't working.
Yeah, let's scroll through some of the topics out there that's really going to be interesting. We're going to talk about the future of recruiting. Obviously, we're going to talk about AI. We're going to talk about how TA really should be an indispensable function and really how to operate that automation. I mean, so many topics. AI versus I mean, listen, I've been to a bunch of these conferences in the last year. AI is a buzzword, but we're really going to dig into it at ERE and talk about where the rubber hits the road. My show that came out today with Lydia Wu, we talk about, does every company need AI? Is it just a shiny object out there? And then once you get this shiny object in there, do you have the right team, the right financial support, the right executive support to really utilize it as best as possible? So I'm really excited about these conversations. And there's also not just keynotes out there, but roundtables. Tell everyone what the roundtables are about.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, this conference has everything that you want, right? I mean, it's got roundtable discussions. These are the topics that really TA practitioners and even the providers you really need to learn more about. So it's usually a lot of trending topics. It can be anything from obviously AI, how AI is impacting the business. It can be even employer brand, recruitment marketing strategies, what's working, what isn't working. We saw a lot of budget cuts in DEI, so there's a lot of like trending topics. That's where the roundtables come in. So people get together and kind of talk about what happened last year, maybe the last couple of years, and what they need to do for 2025.
And I love the roundtables. I'm going to try to capture some of the content from there too, because I think that's where the innovation comes. It comes from the conversation,
Oh
having
yeah,
difficult conversations and having actionable, practical insights that come from them, and talk about how do we implement them in our day to day business. So everyone who's at the conference, how do we take these learnings from the keynote speakers, from the roundtable, and bring them back to our organizations? And then in 2025, let's report back and see what worked, what didn't work, what the latest trends are. It's going to be really interesting. I mean, it really is ear to the ground. I mean, this is a little bit different than some of the larger expo style conferences with a lot of exhibitors. This is real conversations,
yeah.
real practitioners, and getting everybody in one room together versus spread out over a large expo floor. I'm excited for it, and everyone should be excited. I'm going to be speaking on Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock, and I'm going to be speaking about how companies could utilize a internal podcast for candidate attraction, employer branding, culture, showcasing diversity. I'm going to share some examples. I'm going to share the thought process behind it and how to be a champion within your own organization if you think a podcast might be. Michael, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but who's one keynote that if anyone going, they better not miss it? They better not be in their hotel room doing work and checking emails.
Oh man, that's gonna be tough. I mean,
I mean, it could be a Kevin Grossman, it could be a James Ellis, it could be a Jennifer Tardy.
yeah, that's gonna be tough. I
It,
mean,
I don't want to shit.
honest.
Kate, don't sleep on Kate Bischoff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I want to say something about her real quick. That is probably where we get the most positive reviews. She does this every year because it's all, legal talk, and everybody has been laid off. I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people are laid off. So that was really, really like a big topic from
Ooh.
spring. So yeah, don't want to miss her. She's virtual. Um, uh, you know, I, for me, I think James Ellis is going to really drive something home. I'm more of an employer brand, so I'm a
Did you
bias
talk to him
there.
about his attire? Is he allowed to wear a Hawaiian shirt? Are we having this conversation, James Ellis?
Yeah, I don't know. He might wear his EBAF, which I got one of those T-shirts. Maybe I might wear it too. So I love his, his thought process around what he's doing with the employer brand. And a lot of companies have slashed budgets with DEI, so that's going to be another topic. I think Jennifer Tardy, and I heard so many good things about her as a keynote speaker.
Um,
She's going to be really good. But
Steph,
believe it or not, I'm going to say you too because I put out some content recently about podcasting. Actually, when I first came on, I should say recently, when I first came on with ERE, I put some content out about podcasting, and it got so much engagement, so many impressions, so much buzz all across our social media channels. And I think I realized something that companies are really investing more on not just traditional stuff that you put out on LinkedIn about your employer brand, but they're really focusing a lot more on podcasting too.
and that comes down to a big part of my presentation where I'm talking about showing versus telling. Right?
Mhm.
A company could go out there and they could say, "We have diversity initiatives. We support culture. We support extracurricular and learning and all these things. We could tell you what it's like to work here." But when you do a podcast the right way internally and you're showcasing your employees and the employees are the content, that's what's going to make it shine. And then what I'm also going to dig into is how do you take that content and use the content pyramid? I'm getting in the weeds here and put that content into your candidate attraction, your talent attraction, your hiring process to showcase it. There's so many opportunities to make your company shine brighter. And we're going to get into retention. We're going to get into all these things on mine. I'm excited for it. I'm also excited. I'm going to be recording. I'm going to be recording on Wednesday and Thursday morning with many of the speakers and the guests there. We're going to talk about hot topics, and we're going to really shine a light on the good in the industry. We're going to shine a light on ERE and just keep the good times rolling. Anybody out there, it is not too late. Especially if you live on the West Coast, grab some tickets, head over to ERE. There's a couple of promo codes you could get 20% off. You could check my feed for that. We still have some rooms, I think, open at the Westin. It's in
Mhm.
the middle of Disneyland. There's a lot of hotels nearby. Everything's in walking distance, guys. This is a great conference. Anyone out there who's a thought leader, a practitioner in the space, especially independent recruiters like myself, this is a good one. What else, Mike? What am I missing here?
No, that's perfect. Yeah, you really summed it up good. I think this is going to be a great conference. Just the location and the time frame that it's in. It's right after Veterans Day, so you get that free extra holiday. And what really, I think, what people really need to understand about this conference and what makes it a little bit more unique. is that it is obviously you're going to get there to network and meet a lot of these TA leaders and people that provide a lot of the services. Um, but you really are going to come away with insights. And I like the fact that you'll be able to network, meet people, and say, hey, can I call you? Can I get in touch with you and learn some of the things that you did? For last year, the spring conference, we had Melissa Thompson, and she was a keynote speaker. And a lot of people wanted to reach out to her to see how she transformed her TA to be more strategic advisors, and that's kind of what we're going to build upon in the fall too. People like Kevin. Uh, Wheeler, who's going to be talking about how to become more of a strategic advisor and leveraging a lot of technology. So you can get in touch with these people after the conference and get more, insight from them, and you get direction on how to kind of implement it on your own. So whether you're a corporate TA leader or an agency or an independent, this is a place where you really can learn and get in touch with people. So that's it.
That is fantastic, and I want everyone to take a note here too. It's not just about the keynotes and the roundtables, but it's the connection. You're spending a couple of days with these folks. We're eating together. We're hanging out afterwards. The networking is what it's all about. Mike, give everyone a shout. Where could they link up? What else?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I just totally forgot. We got the Candy Awards, which is if you know Kevin Grossman, he leads up the Candy Awards, which is more candidate experience. We have I think 60 companies that are getting awards globally. These are like really large, medium to large size companies, well-known brands, well-known logos, and they're all going to be in attendance. So we have this Candy Award dinner. So if you
Yep.
come to the conference, you got to come to the dinner. The dinner is right after the day one conference. There'll be a lot of people there getting these awards. So it's all about candidate experience there. But yeah, definitely reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can search me through ERE or Michael Glenn. I
Easy
think
to find.
yeah, easy to find. By the way, I share the same name. Real quick story for you guys. I share the same name as a famous basketball player, Michael Glenn, and he would play for the Atlanta Hawks, and
Huh.
then he went on to become a commentator for the broadcast commentator for the Atlanta Hawks. And we both worked at Turner Broadcasting, but he used to cash my expense checks by accident because we both
By
worked together.
accident. Yeah.
So if
That
you look me up, there's a ton of Michael Glenn's on LinkedIn, but I'm the one with ERE. So
Awesome. I want everyone to check it out. I'm going to be there. Podcast is going to be there. HR Morning Show is going to be there. I'm
love it.
excited for Anaheim. I didn't check the weather yet. I usually don't check the weather until a few days out. I don't like to play that game, but it's Southern California, guys. It's going to be nice. Michael Glenn, I appreciate you. I'm excited for ERE. We're going to link it up in the comments. Get involved, 20% off. Book your flights, book your travel. Get some childcare, figure it out, feed the pets, leave them the whole bag of food open, and come join us at ERE out in Anaheim in a couple of weeks. Michael Glenn, thank you so much for everything. We'll see you in a little bit.
All right, thanks.